The ability. I'd like to yield 2 minutes. Gentleman from Georgia, a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Mr. Carter.
The gentleman is recognized.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Madam Speaker, I rise today in support of this, denouncing the harmful and anti-American energy policies of this administration. On day one of his presidency, Joe Biden declared war on American energy, and he's not stopped since then. To no one's surprise, this resulted in record inflation, destroying the purchasing power of hardworking Americans. Just yesterday, the administration finalized a new rule to force more Americans to purchase electric vehicles, even if it isn't the best option. Our government should not be choosing winners and losers, especially when it impacts their livelihoods. Today, EVs are largely a luxury item for most Americans. Most Americans cannot afford one, and they also cannot afford a vehicle that may not serve them when they need it. Parts of my district are incredibly rural, and an EV is simply not practical for life there. Other recent attacks on American energy by this administration include its decision to pause LNG export approvals. What is being called a pause now will last indefinitely and is de facto a ban. This will cede our energy independence to countries like Iran and Russia and force manufacturing and businesses abroad. Sadly, the Biden administration is bowing to the far left's radical Green New Deal agenda by imposing a policy that will, in fact, not reduce emissions. Newsflash. China's carbon dioxide emissions increased last year by twice as much as U.S. emissions declined. Twice as much. If we're concerned about emissions, then the Iranian and Russian gas that will replace us in the market is much dirtier and will lead to more emissions. Again, blocking new LNG export projects won't reduce global emissions, but it would be a gift to America's adversaries and show Europe that the U.S. isn't a reliable ally. It's saddening to see this administration do everything it can to destroy our role as a global energy leader. These are things that should not happen. The world will no longer look to the U.S. as an energy leader, which inevitably will lead to a less stable world.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Gentleman's yielded. Gentleman as much time as he needs.
The gentleman is recognized.
Years of work have gone into becoming the global leader in increasing energy production, reducing energy prices through technological innovation, leading the world in the reduction of emissions, and providing energy stability and security. These are strengths we should be embracing, not reversing. The world will no longer look to the U.S. as an energy leader, which inevitably will lead to a less stable world. It's no secret that my friends on the left look to countries like Germany as a role model for energy, which is the worst role model you could possibly use. I must think the opposite. While German emissions have dropped significantly, it's largely due to manufacturing leaving the country. That means fewer opportunities and less economic prosperity. We cannot afford to follow that example. I support the bill. I urge my colleagues to support it, and I yield back.